On 25th January 2024, the Kenyan shilling traded at 163.5 for a unit of the US dollar. This was the highest exchange rate between the USD and the Kenya shilling in 2024, with the shilling losing by 27% to the dollar compared to January 2023. In a rather unexpected turn of events, the shilling gained significantly in mid-February 2024 after significant dollar inflows from, among other sovereign loan facilities, the Trade Development Bank (TDB), the International Monetary Fund (IMF), and the World Bank. These inflows brought the Kenya shilling to 132 per US dollar on March 29, 2024. The USD Kenya shilling rate was down 16.16% in 2024, making it the strongest the shilling has ever been against the greenback in a record 30 months. The fall of these spreads have been responsible for a lot of market woes for importers, exporters, manufacturers, and so many others. Today, let's focus on banks. So in the forex market, currencies are traded in pairs. So spreads and margins are the differences between the buy and sell rate. Let me explain. For example, if you go to a forex bureau or a bank to get USD, currently you're going to buy at about 130 shillings to $1. Now, the bank or the forex bureau must have gotten it for about 125. The difference is 5 shillings. Now, that 5 shillings is the spread that the forex bureau or the bank realizes, and that's what we are here to talk about. Back to the bank situation. The exchange gains of 6 Tier 1 banks that operate units in the region rose from 6.6 billion shillings in 2022, boosting the value of assets, earnings, and dividends for these subsidiaries. This means that there are exchange losses or gains factored in depending on whether the shilling has strengthened or weakened against the respective operating currencies of the subsidiaries. Exactly a year on, these lenders would lose the same amount in forex incomes. According to data from financial statements touching on the local operations of 10 listed commercial banks, total forex income in the year ended December dropped to 55.6 billion shillings from the peak of 61.5 billion shillings in 2022. Before the drop, banks had imposed a daily cap on dollar purchases as of little as $5,000 as firms struggled to obtain adequate forex to meet their supply needs. And while all eyes are on the Kenya and dollar situation, within the neighborhood, the shilling equally lost significantly against a majority of regional currencies last year. The shilling slid by 19.7% against the Uganda shilling, 15% against the Tanzania shilling, and 7.1% against the Rwandese franc. Although it made a 3.3% gain on the DRC Congo franc, the fact that Congolese economy is highly dollarized meant that the banks operating there made gains owing to the shilling's 21% slide against the US currency in the period. NCBA, which had the highest forex earnings in 2022 at 11.9 billion shillings, for instance, saw revenues from the currency trades tumble to 7.5 billion shillings in 2023.
We did budget for slower FX sort of revenue on account of primarily the expectation that the exchange rate troubles were going to normalize. And indeed, as you can see, more recently, that has actually been the case. But more specifically for 2023, because that's the reporting period, the exchange rate did actually attempt some bit of increased liquidity if you compare to 2022. It's important to always bear in mind that the prices, particularly exchange rate as a price, will be noisy. And as long as the fundamentals stabilize, that noise sort of fizzles away.
Equity Group recorded the biggest currency gains from 2.94 billion shillings in 2022 to 17.42 billion shillings in 2023. The bank operates subsidiaries in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. It was followed by KCB Group, whose units in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, and DRC gave the group currency gains worth 5.86 billion shillings in 2023, up from 787 million shillings in 2022. I&M's currency gain rose to 5.36 billion shillings in 2023 from 1.37 billion shillings a year earlier. Diamond Trust Bank's gain stood at 5.32 billion shillings from 1.61 billion shillings in 2022, while NCBA reported a gain of 2.03 billion shillings from 305.2 million shillings in 2022. Retail currency rates differed substantially, with the interbank bank-to-bank market spreads before interventions by Central Bank of Kenya, including more realistic quotes of the effective dollar rate and the rejuvenation of the forex interbank market. This year, however, the forex exchange market has rebounded, with the Kenya shilling, for instance, returning gains in excess of 16% so far in 2024, with the dollar availability staging a comeback. Local businesses and households raised their accumulation of hard currencies during the period, resulting in an unprecedented demand for dollars. This added to the usual demand for the greenback by traders and importers as the market preempted continued weakness in the local currency. On Thursday last week, the Central Bank of Kenya quoted the current exchange rate at about 131 Kenya shillings to the dollar, against a rate of 161 that was being quoted in January. Experts, however, are keen on the sustainability of these forex prices, especially towards the end of the year, though appreciating that liquidity has significantly improved. Brian George Otieno, NTV On The Money.